Hi everyone and welcome back to PrepFusion. I'm Anish and today actually we will be doing something different, something unusual that no one in this gate industry will even try to do. So today we will be solving few JEE advanced questions that came in this year 2025 which are relevant to gate. So few things I just wanted to say that why are we solving JEE advanced? You will say sir this is just a waste of time. Yeah, kind of I agree, but just trust me on that whatever questions we will solve, right? So out of that, in JEE Advanced, what happens? Like in a single question, there will be 10 good concepts that can be asked. But in GATE examination, that level is not that high. Level is on the lower side. So in a single question, there can be two good concepts that can be asked. So just try to see what concepts we are using and try to identify those concepts, those patterns. Those patterns can be asked in your GATE examination. Not like all 10 of them, but out of 10, 2 can be asked, right? So, and also we will see with basics, right? With no knowledge, with your GATE, whatever GATE knowledge you have, with that, are we able to solve the JEE advanced question or not? And this I'm talking about PrepFusion students. So, only students of PrepFusion mostly will be able to solve these questions. Other institute I cannot comment about that because whenever we teach a subject, we always start from zero, absolute zero, even negative. Then we go to the absolute highest level. What can they ask in the absolute highest level that we want to go? Okay. Also, one more thing I want to say, it's like not like that I am solving this right in front of you and first time and stuff. No, I have already solved this. I have few times I was also stuck. I had to go to my notes. I have to refer to other resources. Then I was able to get to the answer. I'm not like super smart, super genius kind of person. I was also not able to solve few questions. Few questions I was able to solve. Okay, but then I modified the solution so that I can explain to you in more lucid manner. Okay, and this is the first question basically, and this question was the most interesting one, which I and Himanshu sir both were discussing on this question, right? Sometimes a few things I got wrong, few things he was getting wrong, but finally a concept clicked in his mind, which he actually teaches in signals and system, right? In Fourier series, he actually teaches the graph of sine of 1 by t. Basically 2 pi you can ignore, 2 pi is just a constant number, right? Sine of 1 by t, he plots the graph, he shows to you, and these concepts, something similar, like a concept out of this, whatever he has taught in signals and system, right, in Fourier series, that actually will be used here, okay, in this JEE Advanced. So whatever we teach, right, like subjects are interrelated, they can be asked anywhere. So like that's why we are just showing you that whatever we teach, right, we try to go to the absolute maximum level what they can ask in the exam. Okay, so this question actually is pretty interesting because first of all, many educators who are in the JEE industry, right, those are guys also were giving the wrong solution. Then ultimately after everyone got to know the correct solution, what was the correct solution, everyone got to know. So we will also try to solve this question. So there are mostly like this, you can take a screenshot, you can try to solve this question. This is the first one. Okay, this is the second one, this is the third one. Like mostly if you are maths question, like whatever is the GATE syllabus, right, those only we will use. Maths question we have, and few like basic AC network question we have, and a like EMFT question we have. These are all the like basic mathematics questions, and this is one of the AC question from the AC portion. Like we will try to, like in JEE they will solve in some different manner, but we are very expert in electrical engineering, right, electronics and electrical engineering. So we will try to solve in our engineering manner. Okay, and this is the final one. This also is a very good question. Okay, so let's try to solve the first one basically. So here, right, first thing is let's read the question. Let R is like any real function, basically R means real, denote a set of all real numbers. Define function f belongs to any real number value. Like if definition is given like this, if x is not equal to 0, then this is the definition. If x is equal to 0, then the function is 2. Okay, which one of the following statements is true? They are asking which one of the following statements is true. So it is a like multiple select question, so multiple options can be correct. The function f is not differentiable at x equal to 0. So how can I say is the function differentiable at x equal to 0 or not? So for that, first of all, let us check the continuity. Is the function continuous or not? If the function is not continuous, then there is no point of checking the differentiability. So how to check the continuity? It's very simple, right? So for continuity, the limit must exist at x equal to 0, right? So limit as x tending to 0, f of x should be equals to 2 basically, because the definition of the function is given at x equal to 0, it is exactly equal to 2. But if I'm approaching from the left hand side and right hand side, that approached value also should be 2. So if I observe here that what is the value that I'm getting, so if I put x equal to 2, Am I allowed to put x equal to 2 here? Will there be any problems? No, there will not be any problems. So I can put 2 minus this 0 minus. Now here, right, I cannot simply put here 0. I cannot simply here put 0, right? There will be problems. If I put 0, this is sine of infinity. Okay. And what is sine of infinity? Sine of infinity is what? Sine of infinity. I mean, infinity, is infinity a value? No. Infinity is just a feeling. So infinity is just a feeling that it is ever increasing, right? It is just increasing. So when the angle inside a sine function is increasing, what will happen? It will just oscillate, right? Between plus 1 and minus 1. So the value here basically oscillates between minus 1 and plus 1, and this is x square, right? So x square is what? Basically 0 square. So here this is some finite value whose range is between minus 1 to plus 1, and I'm multiplying 0 square with it. What will be the value? Finite into 0 is 0. So this will be basically 2. So here limit as x tends to 0 is 2. No problems with that. And also the definition of the function is saying that it is 2 only. So here the limit matches the definition, then the function is continuous. Okay, function is continuous. Now we have to check the differentiability. So for differentiability, we will follow the first principles. Okay, so like what is the actual differentiation formula? This is the differentiation formula, right? Limit as h tends to 0, f of x plus h minus f of x divided by h. So we will check if this limit exists or not. If this limit exists, then of course it is a differentiable function. So this will be what? Limit as h tends to 0, f of x plus h, f of x plus h. So here, right, if I put x plus h, this will be 2 minus 2 of x plus h minus this is whole square minus x plus h whole square sine of 1 by x plus h. Okay, and minus this 2 into x square minus, okay, this is about, so we have to find out about the point 0. Sorry, we have to find out about the point 0, right? So here we can put x equal to 0. We don't need to basically, okay, my bad, I forgot to put the value. Like this will be, so what will be my f dash of 0? F dash of 0 will be equals to limit as h tends to 0, f of h minus f of 0 divided by h. So already we know the definition of the function, right? Already we know the definition of the function. So this will be equals to limit as h tending to 0, f of h, right? F of h. What is f of h? It is simply 2 minus 2 h square minus h square into sine 1 by h. Okay, just hold on. And f of 0 is what? F of 0 is given, they have given me f of 0 is 2 already, right? F of 0 is already 2. So this divided by h. So here what happens? Now if h is tending to 0, this will go to 0. This is already cancelled. So it is basically h limit as h tends to 0, h into sine 1 by h. So is this limit, does this limit exist? Yes, it does. Again the same thing, right? H is tending to 0. So it is like sine of infinity, which means it is oscillating from minus 1 to 1. So this is some finite value, right? Finite value. And I'm multiplying it with 0. So what will be the result? 0 only. So f dash of 0 exists, it is 0 only. Okay. And is it correct? If I see, yes, it is correct. Because if I differentiate the function at point 0, this is like with the first principles, I'm approaching from positive and negative side. But at point 0, if I differentiate this function, it is just constant, right? So it is 0. So there is no problem. So basically, the thing is, it is differentiable. The function is differentiable. So here, as it is mentioning that it is not differentiable, it is incorrect. It is differentiable. Function is differentiable. Now, few students might have doubt because we used to solve using a different method, right? What you should do? We actually, to check the differentiability, what you should do is we used to differentiate the function f dash of x. Then you should check whether this function is continuous or not. Here, right, this method will not work. Will not work. Why it will not work? Because the point at which you are checking the differentiation, actually the function definition of the function changes, right, at that point of time. So don't apply this method. Okay, Don't apply this method here, because the definition of the function here changes, right? And you will be not be able to like this method will not work, okay? Because we will just see why this method will not work, okay? So this was the first thing. First option is incorrect. Next option, there is a positive delta such that f is a decreasing function on the interval 0 to delta. So they are talking about decreasing, they're talking about here in the next option, they're talking about increasing, right? They're talking about local minima, maxima, all these things. So whenever these kind of things come up, so you have to differentiate the function. So I will differentiate, I will do the f dash of x, I will find the differentiation, right? So then I will see, then I can comment what is happening, maxima, minima, what is happening, right? Or like can I find a range of decreasing function or something? So now let's differentiate, right? Remember, I'm not differentiating at x equal to 0, because the differentiation of at x equal to 0 is already, we have found out it is 0 only. I'm differentiating this definition of the function, okay? So if I differentiate this, what happens? So f dash of x, right, 2 is a constant, it will go away, so it will be minus 4x, right? This will be minus 2 minus 4x. Now we can apply the chain rule, so this will be minus, this will be x square, so this will be 2x into sine 1 by x, and plus x square sine 1 by x into minus 1 by x square, right? So this will be minus 4x minus 2x sine 1 by x minus sine 1 by x. Now what they are asking in the question, they are asking that x equal to 0 is a local minimum point, because in the differentiation around 0 this will not give me anything fruitful. Let me write down the function once again. Okay, what is f of x? F of x is equals to 2 minus 2x square minus x square sine 1 by x. Actually that this differentiation is not that useful, helpful for option D. I also forgot. Okay, so what happens, like they're asking, they're telling me whether it is a local minima maxima. What means in local minima? What does local minima mean? Basically around x equal to 0. So around x equal to 0, I know if I have a local minima, right, the graph will look somewhat like this, right? If I have a local minima, that means just after 0 and just before 0, the value should be higher than at x equal to 0. So what is the value at x equal to 0? So f of 0 is what? 2. F of 0 is 2. What is the value at f of 0 plus? What is the value at f of 0 plus? How can I comment what is the value at f of 0 plus? Just hold on a second. Yeah. So how can I comment about it? If I see here, right, if I put 0 plus here, like I'm very close to 0. I'm very close to 0. If I put 0 plus here, what will happen? This will be 2 minus some, like let me do something, right, like this, right? So let me write limit as h is tending to 0 plus f of h, right? So this will be 2 minus h square minus h square into sine of 1 by h. Now the matter of the fact is that if I take here h square common, this will be 2 minus h square, and this is sum 2 plus sine of 1 by h. Now h is very close to 0. If h is very close to 0, right, I cannot comment what this value is. This value will oscillate, as you can see here, right? If, like, what is the graph of sine of 1 by t, or in this case 1 by h? If h is very close to 0, right, it will just like बर्बाद हो जाएगा सब कुछ, ठीक है, screen will crash. So but one thing I am sure, that this value will oscillate between -1 to 1, that is for sure. So if this value oscillates between -1 to 1, then what is this overall value? This value will oscillate between 1 to 3. This value will oscillate between 1 to 3. So this value is always greater than 0. Okay, so what I am doing, I am multiplying h square. So h square is a real number, right? If h square is a real number, h square also will be always greater than 0, and 1 and 3 are always greater than 0. Between like 1 to 3, those are greater than 0 only, right? So I am multiplying two positive numbers. So number a and number b both are positive. Okay, then I am subtracting, right? 2 and subtracting a positive number. So that means what? The value is reducing. So it does not matter whether I come from the left hand side or the right hand side, right? It does not matter if I am coming from the left hand side of the graph or the right hand side of the graph, does not matter, because here I have h square. So you square negative number, it is positive. You square a positive number, it is positive. Fact is, so value just after 0 plus or just before 0 plus, right, is less than 2. That means what? The graph means at x equal to 2 it is 2. Sorry, at x equal to 0 it is 2. But just after this and just before this, it is somewhat low, less than 2. This I can surely comment. That means what? It is a local maxima. It is not a local minima. It is a local maxima. So here it is a local maxima, not minima. So this option is also incorrect. Okay, this option is incorrect. A option is also incorrect. Now only are left B and C. So in B or C, B, they are telling there is a positive real number delta such that f is decreasing function on the interval 0 to delta. So for that, actually we had computed this differentiation, right? So they are telling me that f, I can definitely comment that there will be some real number delta, that f is a decreasing function. What does decreasing function means? Decreasing means my function is always decreasing. Decreasing means what? Value is reducing. Value is reducing means what? Slope will always be negative. You try to see the slope. Slope is always negative. So in that given range from 0 to delta, slope will be always negative. Now can you comment, like this is the differentiation, right? Can you comment here, will the slope always be negative? Let's see. Can I comment anything here or not? So here, right? If, okay, sorry, this will be, okay, so one thing I messed up here. So this will be cos, right? Sorry, I know you guys are screaming there. This will be cos. Okay, this will be cos. Now, can I comment anything here? So if I go very near to 0, like x is very near to 0, right? If x is tending to 0, can I comment on these values? Now there is not a single value. There is these two values, right? There are both sin x and cos x. Both sin x and cos x, both will, I cannot comment. Both will oscillate very fast. If you see here, both are oscillating very fast, near zero, right? Both are oscillating very fast. Okay, so I cannot comment on this value. Right? So even though, let's say I'm very close to 0, because they are asking me, tell me a positive real number delta such that f is decreasing function given from the intervals. It should start from 0. It must start from 0 and end at delta. So we must start from 0. Our starting point must be 0. So if my starting point is 0, at 0 I can definitely comment. At 0 I can definitely comment what is the value of the function. The value of the function is 2. That is sure. I am 101% sure that at 0 the value of the function is 2. Okay, because that is given to me, right? And this also I am sure, just after 0 and just before 0, the graph will be somewhat decreasing. These two information I am 100% sure. But can you tell me, just after 0, at what point I can definitely comment that it is decreasing in that range? Because once, like, you cannot say any point. Once you say that, let's say at 0.0001, you say at 0.001 the function is reducing between 0 to 0.0001. You are commenting, you are saying, sir, I know between 0 to 0.001 the function will always reduce. That is what they are telling, right? The function is a decreasing function. Let's assume delta is 0.001. Now as soon as you tell delta is 0.001, I will tell you that if I say the number 0.0001, like there are so many oscillations before that, right? Basically what will happen, near this 0 point, I will tell you that you will say, sir, 0.001 is a delta point, but I will say, let's take then this 0.001. like, why? What will happen here is that just after this suddenly there will be oscillation. Just before this suddenly there will be oscillations. I mean, just after this suddenly there will be oscillations. Just before this suddenly there will be oscillations, right? As you can see from the graph. Can I comment what is the value here? Can I comment what value is there? No, right? I cannot comment what is the value here, right? Huge oscillation. You will see huge oscillations. So just after this, just before this, there will be huge oscillations. I cannot comment what is the exact value. So I cannot define any point. If you say 0.001, I will say 0.0001. Okay, and between these interval, right, you will see there are so many oscillations of the sine graph. Why are there so many oscillations? Because it's just like sine of infinity, and infinity is like, it's not a number, right? It is always increasing. It is always increasing. I can always choose another small number, 0.000001. Okay, and you see between here to here there will be so many oscillations. How can you see? So what is sine of 1 by, like basically it is sine of 1 by t, right? So what is this sine of 1 by 0.001? This is 10 raised to power 4. And here what is this? This is sine of 10 raised to power 5, right? So 1 2 3 4 5 6. I have taken one more 0. Okay, this is fine. So like there are so many periods, right? Because sine function is what? Periodic with period 2 pi, right? It is periodic with period 2 pi. So there are like, between 10 raised to power 5 and 10 raised to power 4, there are so many intervals of 2 pi, right? 2 pi n. So many intervals. You can find this out. So many intervals. So it will oscillate so much. So I cannot comment what will be the, like I cannot say a specific number delta, real number, for which it is always decreasing. Okay, I hope you understand. Like there are so many periods of 2 pi between this range, I cannot comment. So that's why this option is also incorrect. They are telling me there is a positive real number. There is not a positive, there is not any positive real number delta for which I can comment that it will be purely decreasing. All I can say that this point will be local maximum, that's it. Okay, so this option is also wrong, and many people in the whole industry got this wrong. We also were like brainstorming it, like what can be the possible answer. Then finally we come to the conclusion. Okay, so Himanshu sir basically came to the conclusion. He finally ultimately answered the thing. So yeah, so here option B is incorrect. So only one option is left. So obviously option C will be correct. What is it telling? It is telling that for any positive real number delta, the function f is not an increasing function on the interval minus delta to 0. So just the opposite. So it is telling that function is not an increasing function from this minus delta to 0, because I cannot comment whether it is an increasing function, decreasing function. I cannot comment about that. So this option is absolutely correct. Okay, just a contradiction of option B. So this was the answer. Option C was the answer for this question. This is a very good question. Okay, and it took us almost 20 minutes to solve this question. Okay, that's what JEE question does. So let me drink a bit of water. Okay, so let's now solve the next question. Next questions will not be that difficult. So we have been given a set of real numbers, a and b both belong to like real numbers, and defined by function which is also real, g is also real, h is also real, these three functions, right? And given that f of x is not equal to g of x. So in JEE Advanced, whatever information they give, right, each and every information might be very interesting. Okay, even though it is not equal to, that also can be very interesting. So these kind of concept can be asked in GATE. Okay, we will see what kind of concepts you will learn. Then they are asking what is the coefficient of x cube in h of x. They are asking what is the coefficient of x cube in h of x. First point is they are asking about the coefficient of x cube, right? So I will only care which will yield me x cube. I will not care about the other terms. So if I observe in the f of x, like it is f of x plus 1. So f of x plus 1, this will yield me x cube term, right? Because it will become what? This will become x plus 1 whole cube, out of which only this first term will yield me x cube. So other term, right, I don't care. So I will not write it. So from the first one, so my h of x, only I am writing the x cube terms. I don't care about the other terms. So here, right, x plus 1 cube, only x, this will be x cube. So here with the coefficient I will have a3. So a3 is with the coefficient, this will be a3 x cube. Okay, a3 x cube. So this is the first term. I don't care about this one. I don't care. Now any other x cube term can come here. Any other. So this, right, this can also produce x cube term, because if you remember x plus 1, right, if I do a binomial expansion of this, all powers from 0, x raised to power 0 to x raised to power 4, all those powers will come. How? You can simply, I can prove it to you, right? This will be what? This is x plus 1 whole square. You don't even to remember the binomial expansion and stuff, right? Without that also you can do. So this will be x plus 1 whole square, right? So basically this will be x square plus 2x plus 1 whole square, right? So now if I assume this as b and this as a, right? So it will be a square, that is x raised to power 4 plus b square. So this will be 4x square plus 4x plus 1 plus b square. Sorry, a square plus b square plus 2ab. So 2ab term actually will give me the x cube term. So 2ab, this will be 2 into x square into 2x plus 1. So this will be 4x cube. Like I only care about the cubic term, I don't care about anything else. So this gives me 4x cube. Okay, so this will be plus 4x cube. This is only for the f of x plus 1. Similarly for g of x also same thing will happen, that this term will give me minus of b3 x cube, and okay, and this term, right, this term will give me x plus 2. So x plus 2 basically means what? Only the 2ab term will yield me, right? So this is x plus 2 squared whole square. So if I square this, this will be x square plus 4x plus 4 this whole square. So basically only the 2ab term will yield me the cubic term. So 2 into a into b. So x square into 4x plus 4. So only this term, right? 2 into this. So 8x cube. So plus 8x cube. Now they are just asking me what is the coefficient of h of x cube in h of x, right? So if I take common x cube, I see it is a3 minus b3 plus 4 minus 8 minus 4. Okay, so I'm observing here some option is there minus 4, right? Is this correct or not? I don't know, because I have to know what is basically, because they are asking me the coefficient of this, right? I don't know what is a3 minus b3. I don't know this. Is there any additional information given to me in the question? This one, right? This is the additional question. So they are very smart. JEE guys are very smart. So they will give you some additional question. So f of x is not equal to g of x. So let me put f of x and g of x here. If I put f of x and g of x, what happens? So what is f of x? A1 plus b1 x, sorry, a1 plus 10x plus a2 x square plus a3 x cube plus x raised to power 4. Okay, this is my f of x, which is not equals to the g of x, that is b1 plus 3x plus b2x square plus b3x cube plus x raised to power 4. So this is not equal, right? So basically if I take everything to the left hand side, I observe that x cube into a3 minus b3 plus this is x square, so a2 minus b2 into x square, then this is 10x and this is 3x, right? So this will be 7x, and this is a1 minus b1. Okay, it's not equal to 0. What does not equal to 0 mean? Not equal to 0 basically means that like what is this? This is a cubic function, right? It's a cubic function. Let me plot it in the graph. So a cubic function, right, can have two types of graph. Either it can be like this or it can be like this. Either way, right? Whether depends on what is the coefficient here. Either it is negative or positive. So there are two ways, right? A cubic function only can be plotted in these two ways. And in both the ways, I see that like this is my f of x, right? And this is my x. In both ways, it does not matter. It will always have a real root. That means it will at least cross the graph once. If you remember, for a quadratic function, it cannot have, like, there can be cases for which it does not have any real roots, because that is basically it does not cross the x-axis, right? But a cubic must, if it is a cubic, it must cross the x-axis. It must, right? Basically, crossing the x-axis means that basically f of x is equal to 0. Sorry, the f of x must be equal to 0. Okay, so the f of x must be equal to 0. But here is what they are telling me. It is not equal to 0. It is never equal to 0. F of x is never equal to 0. Is it possible for a cubic? So basically, indirectly, what they are telling me that it is not a cubic. It is not a cubic function. So what kind of function is this? If this is not a cubic, it can be quadratic. So if it's not a cubic, that means there is no x cube term. That means this is equal to 0. That means a3 minus b3 must be equal to 0. So that's why you will make this equal to 0, and from here you find out that your coefficient of x cube is minus 4. So some like this kind of concept, right? Trust me, in future gate will ask this concept, in future gate examiners will ask, right? So that's why it will be minus 4. Minus 4 will be the answer for this question. Very beautiful question. Okay. So let's now solve the next one. Next one is a probability one, which you guys will love. So here we have been given few conditions. So there are 3 students, S1, S2, S3 are given a problem to solve. Consider the following events. At least one of S1, S2, S3 can solve the problem. Okay, at least one of S1, S2, S3 can solve a problem. V is the event, S1 can solve, neither S2, S3 can solve, W is this, T is this. So there are so many events, right? So what I will do, whenever these multiple kind of events are happening, one is doing something, one is not doing, other one is not doing, the best way is always to draw the Venn diagram. Okay, draw the Venn diagram and then solve. So I will draw the Venn diagram, right, and then I will try to solve. So what they're telling me that let's take the first case. Okay, let me take the probability of u. So probability of u, they have given me already half. Now here in this case, what will be the what is the required area? So overall area is 1, right? Whole area, whole this square box area is 1, out of which this much portion is A, this much portion is B, this much is C. Okay, only S3 will solve, only S1 will solve, only S2 will solve. Then both S1, S2 solves D, but 3 of them will not solve. Both S2, S3 will solve is the F portion, both S1, S3 will solve is the E portion, and all 3 of them will solve is the G. Okay, so they're telling me at least one of S1, S2, S3 can solve the problem, at least one. So any one of them will solve. Any one of them solves, basically it means that this whole area, right? At least one, right? Any one of them will solve it. Like this area is what? This area means no one is solved. No one has solved the question. But at least one, that means the question is telling me the probability of this whole area is given to be half. So this area is what? A plus B plus C plus D, A, everything, right? Everything included. Okay. So basically it is A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F plus G. Okay, so all of this value addition is half. Let's now solve the second portion. So probability of the event V is given as 10. So event V is given as 1 by 10. So remember, this is a conditional probability that S1 can solve the problem given. It is given that neither S2 and S3 have solved. So basically it is S1 has solved the problem given that neither S2 or S3 has solved the problem, right? Basically it means what? It means probability of S1 intersection S2 not solve the problem, S3 not solve the problem, divided by probability of S2 intersection S3. Okay, okay. So here what I can comment is that what is this value? So S1 intersection not S2 intersection not S3. So basically not S1 is this whole graph, I mean excluding not S2, right? Not S2 is this whole thing excluding S2 basically, and S3 excluding S3 is this whole thing, right? So basically I have to exclude this whole area, right, and include S1. So this is the common area. This is the common area A, which includes S1, which excludes S2 and S3. So basically the top side will be A. What about the bottom side? So probability of S2 bar intersection S3 bar. Probability S2 bar intersection S3 bar. That means what? I shall not include S2 and S3, but everything other than S2 and S3, right? Everything other than S2 and S3. So one thing you remember that they have given me the probability at least one of them solving. So this whole area, right, is half. So what is the remaining area? It will be half because overall area must be 1. Overall probability must be 1. So the remaining area is half. Okay. Now what they are telling me that I have to include the area. Basically they are telling me probability of S2 not solving intersection S3 not solving. So this is the S2, this is the S3. I shall not include this area. Basically, I shall include A and the rest of all the other graph, right? This graph. So what is the area of A? It is A only. So this is A. And what is the area of the rest of the Venn diagram, excluding all these three circles? It is half, right? So this will be half, which is given to me as 10, 1 by 10. So from here, I will be able to find out the value of A. So 10A will be equals to A plus half. So A will be equals to 1 by 18. So value of A is 1 by 18. Now let's do it for the third event. So S W is probability of W, that is 1 by 12. 1 by 12. So that is equals to what? Basically S2 can solve the problem, S3 cannot solve the problem. S2 can solve the problem, okay, and S3. So it is basically probability of S2 can solve the problem and S3 cannot solve the problem, okay. So I have to include this area. S2 can solve the problem, so this area. S3 cannot, so I have to exclude this area. So it is basically B plus D, right? So this area, this whole area, that is B plus D. So I have to add B plus D. So B plus D will be equals to 1 by 12. So B plus D I know. Now what are they asking? They are asking me the probability of S3, that S3 can solve. What is S3 equals to? S3 is equals to this, right? This whole area, which is EGFC. So probability of T is C plus E plus F plus G, right? So I have to find out this value. So I know B plus D. Can I substitute anything? I know B plus D. I know A value. So if I substitute A, B and D, so it is C plus E plus F plus G, which is here C plus E plus F plus G. That is what they have asked. So if I substitute in the first equation, right, here, I will copy this equation. The value of A, so A is 1 by 18, and value of B plus D that is given to me, that is 1 by 12. 1 by 12 plus C plus E plus F plus G, that is equals to half, right? So from here I can easily find out, like, this is what they are asking me. So probability of T equals to, so this will be 1 by 2, right? 1 by 2 minus all this. So this will be, basically I have to get to a common denominator. So 36. So 36 I can get. So this will be 12, so 18 minus 2 minus 3. So this is 5. So 13 by 36 comes out to be 13 by 36, which is present in the option A. So this question is also pretty elegant. It's not like this big paragraph of a question can come, but a small portion from this can come, right? This Venn diagram, how to do the Venn diagram, right? This concept can be asked. Okay. Next question is again a question on the basics. It's not like you have to remember the formula, you have to remember the conditions. Without remembering the conditions as well, you will be able to solve this. Okay. So let R denote any real function basically. Z1 is this value, Z2 is this value. Both are complex numbers, and S is basically a function of X and Y. Both X and Y are real numbers. For this condition, they satisfy this condition. Basically this equation, right? Which of the following is true? Basically S is a circle. S is a circle only, because in the all four options S is a circle. So that is sure that S will be a circle. That is sure, right? S is a circle. A radius and center, you have to find it out. Okay. So here, right, you just do simple thing, right? It's not like you do something complicated. So you will put the value of Z1. So Z1 is given to you as 1 plus 2y. So here, right, you will put 1 plus 2y. So this will be X. Like, this is sign of what? This is sign of the modulus, that is the magnitude, right? So this will be X 1 plus 2y. So this will be X minus 1 plus I y minus 2. Okay, this modulus equals to 2 into X. In the right hand side it is Z2, right? So we don't have any X real value, only imaginary value. We have I y minus 3 more or less. Okay, so this will be x minus 1 whole square plus y minus 2 whole square will be equals to, remember it comes with a square root function, right? Don't forget that. So this will be square root x square plus y minus 3 whole square. You will square both sides. This will be x square minus 2x plus 1 plus y square minus 4x plus 4 equals to 4 x square plus y square minus 6x plus 9. So this value will be, so here, right, the coefficient of x and y will be same, so it is a circle only. So this is 3x square plus 3y square, that much is sure, minus, this is minus 20, if I take the x common, this will be, if I take plus only, this is minus 24, and from here if I am taking the x on the right hand side, this will be plus 2. Okay, that much is sure. And any other x we have? No other x. No, we have more x, right? Sorry, this will be, I am making the same mistake, this will be y, right? Sorry, this will be y. Yes, here also I am making, I don't know what is the obsession with x. Yeah, there is an obsession with x, we know. Okay, so this will be y. So okay, this is minus 24 plus 2, and this, right, minus 4 will go on that side, so this will be plus y into minus 24 again. Okay, sorry, one mistake, this is 0, right? Sorry. इसलिए भाई x को याद नहीं करते, ठीक है, तो सब कुछ गड़बड़ कर देती है. ओके, सो दिस विल बी प्लस 0 minus 24 and this will go, so plus 4 and minus 4 is there, and here we have plus 36, right, equal to 0 basically. Yes, oh, plus 1 is also there, minus 1 is also there, right? So basically this becomes, I will divide by 3, right, because that is the standard equation of a circle. If you remember, it is x square, x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square equals to r square. So this will be x square, if I take the x terms together, this will be 2x plus y square, and remember I have divided by 3 also, so this will be y square plus minus 20 divided by 3y, and the constant term I can take on the right hand side, this will be minus of 31. Okay, so now what I will do, I will use the like simple, if you remember the simple formula, right, x minus a, that's why I am telling you can solve with basic, right? This formula everyone knows, x minus a minus x minus b whole square equals to r square. So here the center is what, AB, and the radius is r. Okay, so we'll try to convert in that form, right? So if I see that here, what am I saying, if I divide this by, so here, right, square formula, this will be x square plus 2x by 3 plus 1 by 9 minus 1 by 9 plus y square minus 20 by 3y plus 100 by 9 minus 100 by 9 equals to minus 31. Okay, so here, right, basically I am converting into square, so this will be x plus 1 by 3 whole square plus y minus 10 by 3 whole square equals to, now this will be 1 by 9, 99 by 9, right? So you have minus 101 by 9 actually. We have okay, sorry, we have divided by 3 as well, right? Okay, sorry, forgot to say, but divided by 3, so this will be minus 31 by 3, so this will be minus 31 by 3, so this will be 101 by 9, right? On the right hand side this will go minus 93. Okay, so this will be basically 7, 8. So this will be like, what is the center here? Center here is minus 1 by 3 comma 10 by 3. What is the radius? Radius will be under root of this, right? So here this is 8 by 9, under root of this will be 2 root 2 by 3. So this is the radius, this is the center, right? Center is minus 1 by 3, 10 by 3. Minus 1 by 3, 10 by 3 is in the option A. And then radius will be 2 root 2 divided by 3. So that is in the present in the option D. So here option A and D will be the correct answer. So it's not like I did something out of the world, right? What all I did was with basics. So this JEE advanced question we solve with basics. Of course, there is time constraint in the actual examination. We don't have the time constraint. We're not even JEE aspirants, right? So it's not like you have to solve within a given time. It's okay. You can take your time, right? We don't have to reach that level. Okay. So yeah, let's now solve the next one. So I don't know how long this video will go. Okay. So let solve this one. So here, right, we have a function g of x like this, and one condition is given to me. Always remember the condition that e of x naught plus x naught equals to 0. This condition is given for any real number x naught. Okay, so x belongs to any real number, does not matter, I will get 0. So for a given real number alpha, defined like this, okay, where alpha is a real number again, for all real x, which of the following statements is true? Limit as x tends to 0, this, limit as this, right? So in all the cases I see that limit is existing. In all the cases, limit is existing. So limit actually exists. In all the cases, limit actually exists. So because I'm getting finite values, right? They're telling me limit is existing. So if limit exists, what can I comment about? If limit is existing, what can I say? I can use the L'Hopital's, right? Because the denominator is going to 0. Denominator here is going to 0. If x is tending to x naught, denominator will go to 0. If denominator goes to 0, numerator also has to go to 0 for the L'Hopital rule to satisfy. If numerator is finite and denominator is 0, that means limit does not exist. But here limit is existing, right? So limit has to go to 0. So numerator also has to go to 0. So what can I comment? What can I comment here? So if I want to find out this limit, because in like the inside function is always same, right? So this is x tending to x naught, limit as g of x plus e raised to power x naught divided by x minus x naught, right? So if limit has to exist, as denominator is going to 0, numerator has to also go to 0. So it is going to 0, that is fine. Now I can use the L'Hopital's rule. What does L'Hopital's rule say? So differentiate the numerator and denominator both. So this will be g dash of x plus, remember this is just a constant number, x naught is just a constant value, it's just a constant number, right? This will be 0 divided by the differentiation of the denominator. It is like differentiation of x is 1 and x naught is 0. So basically what they're asking me to find out the differentiation of g dash of x as x tends to x naught. So I have to find out the differentiation of g of x. So let me see, will I be able to compute the differentiation of g of x? So what is g of x basically? So g of x, if I observe here one very interesting thing, if I take here 3x common, e raised to power plus x is in the numerator as well as in the bottom, right? So basically 3 will get cancelled, e raised to power x plus 1 will get cancelled, only x will be left out. So from the first two terms only x will be left out. Now I have minus, and if you see, if I take alpha common here, this will be e raised to power x plus x. So if I take minus alpha common here, this will be e raised to power x plus x, and in the denominator I will have 3 into e raised to power x plus 1. Okay, this will be alpha by 3 into e raised to power x plus 1. Okay, now actually I don't want this, I want the differentiation. Remember alpha is just a constant number, right? So I want the differentiation. So what is g dash of x? This will be 1 minus alpha by 3 is just a constant number, it's just a differentiation of u by v. So this will be 1 plus e raised to power x into e raised to power x minus differentiation of the numerator denominator. This will be e raised to power x into e raised to power x plus x divided by e raised to power x plus 1 whole square. Okay, so now the thing is, now I will put here x tending to x naught, right? Limit as x tending to x naught. If I put here limit as x tending to x naught, this will be 1, this will be alpha by 3. Here if x is tending to x naught, this is basically e raised to power x plus 1 whole square. Now one information is given to me, e raised to power x plus x naught is 0. So this right is 0. If this is 0, this will simply go away. So this will be e raised to power x plus 1 whole square divided by e raised to power x plus 1 whole square. So ultimately this will be cancelled. So this will be alpha by 3 only. So that's magical. That's the magic, right? That's the magic of JEE Advanced. Okay. So basically the value comes out. I want to take the modulus of this absolute value. So this will be modulus of this. So now I know the limit value. So I just have to put like for alpha equal to 2, for alpha equal to 3. So if I put alpha equal to 2 here, so alpha equal to 2 here, right? The value comes out to be 2 by 3, so that is 1 by 3. If I put here alpha equal to 3, the value comes out to be 0. So I see if I put alpha equal to 2, they are saying 0, 1, no. Alpha equal to 3, 0, yes. This is wrong. It's not 2 by 3, right? So option C will be correct in this question. So now let's solve this next question. This question is again very interesting, right? So here we have been given a function which is like defined, like it always has real values, defined for all real values, and the definition is changing around x equal to 0. At x equal to 0, it is 7 by 3. Okay, and this is the value of the function other than x equal to 0. So they are asking me which of the following options are true. At x equal to 0, we have a point of maxima, minima, how many maxima or minima we have around these intervals. Okay, so let's first tackle this one around x equal to 0. To discuss about whether I will have a local maxima or minima, the graph, if I have a maxima, will be somewhat like this around x equal to 0. Okay, very bad graph. Okay, and around x equal to 0, it will be some, if it is minima, it will be something like this, right? So that is the maxima and minima. Okay, so basically what I can comment is that okay, so what is happening at x equal to 0? So let me approach from both right hand side and left hand side, right? If I approach, like, let me first approach from the left hand side. Okay, so if I'm approaching from left hand side, basically I am calculating the left hand limit, that is my limit as h x is tending to 0 minus, right? What does it mean? Basically this basically means f of x, right? This basically means limit your function will be changed to minus of h, right? H tends to 0, your function will be changed to minus of h, basically very small value that is negative, right? So this is equals to 6 of minus h, this will become minus of sin h divided by 2 minus of h plus, sorry, minus of sin h. Okay, so if I take here h common, minus of h common, right? If I take minus of h common, this will be 6 plus sin h by h, this will be 2 plus sin h by h. Now your h is tending to 0. Your h, if your h is tending to 0, that what do you know? You know this tends to 1, right? Does it exactly tends to 1? If it is just by itself, we say it tends to 1. But if it is not directly within itself, right, what will it tend to? So what I can comment, because I've taken the minus h common, so here, right, this value will be that if h is tending to 0, if h is tending to 0, this value will always be somewhat, because this is, what is the expansion of sine of h? Expansion of sine of h, if you remember, it is h, then I have minus of h cube by 3 factorial plus of h raised to power 5 by 5 factorial and so on, right? So and I divide this by h, so this is basically 1 minus of h cube, 1 minus of h square divided by 3 factorial plus something h raised to power 4 divided by 5 factorial and so on, right? So if h is very small value, still it does not matter whether it is negative or some positive. What happens, this value is something lower than 1 negative, this value is something lower than 1 minus, right? This value is something lower than 1 minus. What does it mean? Basically that basically means this will be 6 plus something 1 minus, and this will be 2 plus 1 minus, this will be something 7 minus divided by 3 minus. So it is not exactly 7 by 3, it is not exactly equals to 7 by 3. It is something 7 minus divided by 3 minus. Now, how can I comment? So let me take few values here. Let me take 6.99 divided by 2.99, right? If I take this value and compare with 7 by 3, what happens? You can compare any value, right? I will just quickly compare 6.99 divided by 2.99. So it comes out to be 2.33779. Okay, 2.3377926. I will take out few more values because I might be wrong here. So here, right, you see that 7 by 3, exactly 7 by 3 is coming out to be 2.33. You will reach very close to this, right? Basically it is 2.333. You will reach very close to this value, but you will see always you are getting something higher. You are always getting something higher. So your limit, right? It does not matter if you are approaching from left hand side or right hand side, does not matter. You will get the same result. The value that you are observing is somewhat higher, right, as we are approaching, but exactly at x equal to 0, the value is 7 by 3. So near just right hand side of x equal to 0 and left hand side of x equal to 0, the value is somewhat higher. So it is a minima, it is a local minima. X equal to 0 will be a point of local minima. So this first one is correct. What about the next one? For next one, we have to differentiate the function, right? Now remember here, right, the limit actually does not exactly okay, it will exactly anyways exist because yeah, this is one, okay, it will exist because both of them same, but we are not differentiating at x equal to 0. We want the differentiation at this intervals, right? So let me first differentiation at this intervals. The definition of the function is this, so I'll differentiate this function, right? So if I differentiate this, it is basically f dash of x 6, so this will be 6 plus cos x into the denominator, so this will be 2x plus sin x minus this will be 2 into plus cos x, right, and into 6x plus sin x divided by this whole squared 2x plus sin x whole square. So this is equals to, this will be 12x plus 6 sin x plus 2x cos x plus sin x cos x minus 12x minus sin x cos x. This will be minus 6x cos x and minus 2 sin x. Okay, I don't care about the denominator because ultimately for finding out minima and maxima, I have to equate it with 0, right? Basically the slope should be 0 at minima and maxima. So here I observe like 12x will get cancelled automatically. 6 sin x will not get cancelled. 2x cos x also will not get cancelled. Sin x cos x will get cancelled. So this will be 4 sin x and minus 4x cos x equal to 0. So one thing I can do, I can take a common, right? You directly don't shift this on the right hand side. Don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Okay, very interesting. Don't do that. So what you will do, you will take common here. What I can take common, you can take common 4 cos x. If you take common 4 cos x, this will be tan x minus this x. Why you don't do this? Like many students will do, what they will do is they will divide by cos x on both sides, right? What they will do, they divide by cos x on both sides. So what will do, this is cos x minus 4x divided by cos x, and right hand side also you are dividing by cos x. So you will say, sir, this is the equation, sir, tan x, 4 tan x minus 4 also you can cancel out, 4 will be gone. So tan x minus x basically equal to 0. This is wrong. Whenever you are dividing by a number, right, always you should remember that number must not be equal to 0. That number never should be equal to 0. Basically you cannot divide by 0. Have you ever divided by 0? No, right? You have not. So whenever you're dividing by something, right, in equation, you must satisfy this condition that number must not be equal to 0. That number must not be equal to 0. So the thing over here is because in the interval, if I am dividing by cos x, right, in the interval what they have given me for the x, right, it is cos x is going to 0. So I cannot divide it, right? I have to take common. So that's why I have taken common. Okay. So the thing is, this has to go to 0. So can I know at what points this will intersect? No, right? I cannot comment. So whenever you are not able to comment or comprehend, you always try to plot the graph. So if I try to plot the graph, I observe, like I have to plot the graph with respect, like I will plot the graph of tan x and x. So graph of tan x, right, is always something like this, right? Uh, around pi by 2 cos x is 0. So this will be around pi by 2. This will be minus pi by 2. And again this will go on, right? This will be again here. So this will be where it is periodic 2 pi. This will happen 2 pi and 2 pi before this. Again here I will have 4 pi and again I will have 6 pi. Roughly this will be the graph. Okay, because cos x and sin x are periodic by 2 pi, so tan x will also be periodic by 2 pi. Okay, so what can I comment? What can I comment here? So what is x? Graph of x. So graph of x, right, will be somewhat like this, correct? This will be a graph of x. So actually this is not this, like this slope will be very high, right? Like this, somewhat like this. So it will actually touch. That is what I try to represent. So they will intersect. They will always intersect, right? No matter what. Here also what will happen is the graph I have drawn very bad. Somewhere they will intersect, right? I'm very bad in drawing. Okay. So what I see is around like after 2 pi, right? Every time after 2 pi it will intersect. One way or another, after pi it will always intersect, correct? If I'm not mistaken, this will always intersect. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. It is periodic about pi, right? It is not like it is periodic about 2 pi, it is periodic about pi. My mistake, my bad. Okay, the graph is wrong because tan x, I have also forgotten few things. So that's what happens. So here tan x, remember, it is periodic about pi because both are 2 pi, right? So it will be periodic about pi. So this will be the graph. I should have drawn the graph beforehand itself. So let me mark out the points. Let me say this is pi, this is 2 pi, this is 3 pi, this is 4 pi, this is 5 pi. So around pi the value is 0. At every pi the value goes to 0, right? Yes. And at every pi by 2 the value goes to very high. So roughly this will be the graph. Yeah. So you can remember it like this: at every pi sin x goes to 0, so tan x also will go to 0. So that's how it is periodic about every pi. Okay, so 6 pi is also there, right? So this is my graph of f of x equal to x, correct? So roughly it will cross always. It will always cross this big line, right? Like roughly what I want to say, it will always cross this big line. So what can I comment? Now what are they asking? Like when is it crossing 0? Whenever it will cross 0, like whenever this graph y equal to x and y equal to tan x is crossing each other, that means this condition is satisfying. Both are equal to each other. If both are equal to each other, this value will be 0. That much I know. Okay. So local maxima between intervals pi to 6 pi. So between interval, let me first see between pi to 6 pi. Between pi to 6 pi, how many zero crossing points I have? So number of zero crossing points, right? So critical points. How many critical points I have? Critical points between x belonging to 0 to 6 pi. Okay, so here I see it is like touching here once. Okay, 0 to 6 pi or pi to, sorry, pi to 6 pi, right? Pi to 6 pi, pi to 6 pi. X equal to 0 is also a point, but they are asking me pi to 6 pi. So it will touch here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there will be 6 points. There are 6 critical points, right? Either it can be maxima or minima, out of which how many are maxima and how many are minima. How can I comment about the maxima and minima, right? So again, we have to go to the slope concept. What is the slope concept basically? The slope concept is basically, if you remember the slope concept, that if I have a minima, that means the slope previously just before this, right, it is negative, it became positive. So slope, right, if it goes from negative to positive, then I have a minima, right? And just the opposite for a maxima, it will just be the opposite, that if slope goes from positive to negative, slope goes from positive to negative, I will have a maxima, right? So what is happening actually? If I observe one thing, every time, at every case, in each cases, I see that my x, right, my tan x is here some value. So just before this, right, just before this, the x value will be higher than the tan x graph. The x value, like this is my function f of x, right? So x value is always higher than the tan x. So basically, at every critical point, what one key observation, that x is always, at every critical point, my x is always greater than tan x no matter what. That is the key observation here. I see, right, key observation. Okay, so you can understand this with a series equation. You can write down the series of tan x, and you will see, like, first I get a x minus some x raised to power 3 or x raised to power 5 by something. We are subtracting something from x, right? So always it will be somewhat lower than x. This we know. Anyway, at JEE Advanced guys already know, but with graph also we can see it, right? So that means this overall thing around, before I'm talking about, before before the critical point, before the critical point, x will be always greater than tan x. That means basically this will always be negative. Okay, this will always be negative. And after critical point, this will always be positive. Why? You see, tan x increases very sharply, right? So after the critical point, this will always be positive. So I'm going from negative to positive. That means I'm getting a minima. It is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? Because I have cos x as well, right? That also contributes to the sign. So at x equal to pi, what is the value of cos x? It is negative, right? -1. At x equal to 2 pi, it is basically +1 actually. So it is alternating, -1 +1. So at x equal to pi, although here just before pi the value is negative, but around pi, right, cos is negative. Around pi you will see cos is negative. So that means negative into negative, the slope, sign of slope just before pi is positive, and sign of slope just after pi will become negative. So what is happening? Although the slopes, although this sign does not change, but as cos is alternating in sign, so this slope sign also will change. So for pi, this is the condition for pi and 2 pi, for 3 pi and 5 pi. For 6 pi, sorry, for 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, slope will be negative initially, then it will be positive, just alternating, right? So what can I say? So in these points, if slope is positive initially and then negative, that basically means these are the points of maxima, right? And these are the points of minima. So now what are they asking? They are asking me number of points of local maxima of f in the interval pi to 6 pi. So local maxima they are asking in the interval pi to 6 pi. In the interval pi to 6 pi, I have 3 maxima, which is absolutely correct. I have 3 maxima. Yes. Number of points of local minima between 2 pi to 4 pi. So between 2 pi to 4 pi, if I see how many minima I have. So 2 pi to 4 pi, which includes 2 pi and 4 pi as well, right? Which includes 2 pi and 4 pi is 1, which is incorrect. If I include 2 pi and 4 pi, I have 2 minimas. I have 2 minimas, but here it is telling me I have only 1 minima, which is incorrect. Okay, so Option B and C will be the correct answer of this question. Okay, questions are very interesting. Okay, we have gone a long way. Okay, let's now solve this one. This one is very simple, right? This you will be able to solve. So you have given a differential equation. So in JEE Advanced, they also gives it this sometimes few simple questions as well, right? So this differential equation question came, which is pretty simple. I think you guys will be able to solve it. It's just like if I divide by x square on both sides, this will be dy upon dx y by x equals to 1 plus y square divided by x square. Okay, so x will be greater than 1 by e, that is given to me. So what I can do, I can do a simple conversion, y is equals to vx, right? So if I do this simple conversion, so what is dy upon dx? Dy upon dx will become v plus dx into dv upon dx, right? So this basically becomes v plus x dv upon dx plus v and equals to 1 plus v square, right? So basically this becomes, if I take the v on that side, so this is basically v minus 1 whole square dv is equals to dx upon x. I will integrate on both sides. This will be minus of v minus 1 equals to x ln x plus c. So basically, now what condition they have given me? One initial condition, that is y of 1 is equal to 0. Y of 1 basically means, y of 1 basically means that is x equal to 1. So 0 equals to v into 1. So v is also 0 when x equal to 1. So v is also 0 when x is equals to 1. So minus 1, 0 minus 1 equals to ln of 1 plus c. So this becomes c is equals to 1. So c is 1. Okay. So my function basically becomes y of x minus y of x equals to ln of x plus 1. Now what they are asking? They are asking me the ratio of this y of e whole square by y of e square, right? So what is y of e? So y of e basically means I have to put here x equal to e. So this will be e minus of 1. Ln of e is 1. So this will be 2. So this will be minus of half equals to y of e minus 1 divided by e. So y of e is equals to e by 2. Okay. And what about y of e square? Y of e square, again the same thing, minus 1 divided by e square minus 1. This will be 2, right? 2 plus 1, yeah, 2 plus 1. So this will be minus 1 by 3 equals to y of e square by e square minus 1. So this will be 2 by 3 equals to e square. Okay, so yeah, this is the case over here. So now what they are asking? They are asking me y of e whole square divided by y of e square, and some number was also there, right? I think 2 multiplied. Yeah, 2 is multiplied. So this will be y of e whole square. This will be e square divided by 4 divided by y of e square. So this will be 2 by 3 e square into 2. So this will be 2 will get cancelled. This is 3 by 4 basically 0.75. This is the answer. Okay, these kind of simple questions also they ask. So this is a kind of a gate question only, not that difficult, right? This kind of gate question only. Okay, now let come to the probability part. So this probability is again a kind of interesting question. This is again an interesting question. So it factory has a total of 3 manufacturing units and all of them produce independent. So this word is very important. All of them produce independent of each other. Units M1, M2, M3 produce bulbs in the proportion 2:2:1. So let me assume that in total we produce 100 bulbs. So out of those 100 bulbs, 40 will be produced by M1, 40 will be produced by M2 and 20 will be produced by M3. It is known that 20% of the bulbs produced in the factory are defective. So 20% of the bulbs are defective. So out of 100, 20 bulbs are defective. Okay, these are my defective bulbs. That is, probability of any defective getting a defective bulb is 0.2. It is known that out of all the bulbs, it is known that of the all the bulbs produced by M1, 15% are defective. That a bulb that is defective, given that it is produced by M1, is 15%. That means 0.15. How many bulbs are defective total? So 15% of 40, because total M1 produces 40 bulbs. So 15% of 40, it will be basically 1.5 into 4. So it is 6. Like, total number of bulbs that is defective from M1 is 6. Okay. Now, suppose that if a randomly chosen bulb produced in factory is found to be defective, the probability that it was produced by M2 was 2 by 5. So I have chosen any random bulb, okay, and the probability that it was produced by, like, it is found to be defective. It is found to be defective. Remember, it is found to be defective. That means given that it is defective. Indirectly they are saying, oh, given that it is defective. So probability of it being defective from M2, given that it is already defective, we know already it is defective, okay, that is given as 2 by 5. That probability is given as 2 by 5. So and now what are they asking? They're asking if a bulb is chosen randomly from the bulbs produced by M3, the probability that it is defective. That means what they're asking me probability that I have chosen a bulb, given that that bulb is from M3, what is the probability that bulb will come out to be defective? That is, like, this is the question basically. To find out this, right, actually we will not be able to solve this very easily, because how to find out this? So if I write, like, what is the probability of getting a defective bulb, it will be the total probability, inverse bias formula. So basically, probability that it is a bulb from M1 into probability that it is a defective bulb given that it was from M1, plus probability it is a bulb from M2, probability that it is defective from M2 given that it is from M2, plus probability of M3 given that it is defective from M3 itself, right? So this is the actually equation, and this is the value that we are most interested in, because I know what is probability M3, I know what is probability M2, I know what is probability of M1, I know what is probability of dm1 upon m1, but I don't know this, right? I don't know, so I need to find out this value. Somewhat it is given over here, right? Probability of dm2 divided by d, right? Given that it is d is 2 by 5. So can I find out this value? One thing to notice, what is probability? Probability is always equals to probability of any event A is always equals to NA divided by the total sample space. Okay, so here, right, what is my sample space? So it is given to me already, it is a defective bulb. It is already a defective bulb. I already know. So my sample space is now smaller. So it is like number of defective bulbs divided by the, given that it is said to me that those defective bulbs are from M2. So number of bulbs defective that are from M2. So this is the actual case scenario here, right? So from here I will be able to find out n of dm2, right? What will be n of dm2? So this will be equals to 2 by 5 into number of defective bulbs, that is 20. So this will be 20. So this will be 8. So 8 bulbs from M2 are defective. So what is the probability? Now what are they asking now? What is the probability of dm2 divided by m2, given that it is m2? So now what will be this value? So this value will be number of defective bulbs from m2. What will be the sample space? Sample space will now be, it will not be the whole sample space, basically not the whole 100 bulbs. It will be, because given that it is from M2 itself, how many bulbs does M2 produce? 40. So this will be 40 only. Basically, this will be n of dm2, that is 8 divided by 40. Okay, this concept is very elegant, right, of conditional probability. So now I know all the values. So I know what is P of D. P of D is basically, what can you say? P of D is 0.2, right? 20%. P of M1 is basically, they have given to me, P of N1 is, it's kind of 40 divided by 100, so it is 0.4 into this, right? This is already given to me, 0.15 plus P of M2 is also 0.4 into, we just have found this out, that is this is also 0.2, right? 1 by 5 is 0.2 plus P of M3 is 0.2 into whatever x value that actually we have to find it out, right? So if I divide by 0.2 on both sides, this will be okay, 1 minus 2, this is 0.3, this will be 0.4, right? So this comes out to be 0.3, so x comes out to be 0.3. So the probability, right, probability that I have, what is x? X is probability of d of it is defective from M3, given that it is from M3 itself, will be 0.3. So 0.3 will be the answer. The bulb is chosen randomly from M3, then the probability that it is defective, it will be 0.3. Okay, again very very elegant question. Okay, so let's now move on to the next part. I think mostly we're done for the mathematics part. Now we are coming to the our network theory, right, and EMFT, right? Few network theory questions and EMFT questions are there. So yeah, so here, right, we have a circuit with an electrical load. What they're asking, basically we are giving it input sinusoidal signal. The possible currents can be, okay, for the first case it is just a simple resistor. If it is just a simple resistor, then basically if I am giving a sinusoidal, I will get a sinusoidal at the output. Current basically will not change its phase. So if I am giving sine omega t, right, it should start from 0. So here it is starting from 0, this is not starting from 0, this is starting from 0. These are not the cases, right? So only 1 and 3 can match with P. But remember, what is the magnitude of the resistance? 30. So 30 divided by 300, it is 10. So the peak value of the current should be 10, not 5. So here the peak value is 10. So P matches with 3. So first one is sorted. What about Q, right? So Q, I am seeing it is a RL circuit, and it is 100 millihenry. 100 millihenry basically means, what is the reactance? XL will be omega L. So it will be like omega is 400, so it will be 40 ohms. Okay. So what is the impedance? Impedance Z is 50 ohms. Impedance Z is 50 ohms. Okay. So impedance Z is 50 ohms. So the current magnitude will be what voltage, like peak value of the current will be voltage divided by the impedance, right? So that is 50. So it is 60 amperes. Sorry, 6 amperes, right? So peak value of the current will be 6 amperes only. Impedance I am dividing magnitude of the impedance. Peak value will be 6 amperes. And remember that there will be a lag. Current will lag the voltage because it is a lagging circuit. It is a inductive circuit. So here, right, it is showing it is actually leading. This current is actually leading because this is the graph, right, of like lead. No, this is not the correct one. This is possibility. This is another possibility. Now one thing you must observe here, right, what you are seeing, that the lead, right, is more than pi by 2, because like what is the voltage graph? Voltage graph will start from here, right? Correct. So voltage graph zero crossing is at 0, and current graph zero crossing, you are seeing it is more than pi by 2. Can we ever provide a phase shift of more than pi by 2? Is it ever possible for a passive circuit, for a passive RL circuit? This I have taught in my course, right, AC analysis course. It is free on YouTube itself, that the phase shift for any RLC circuit the range will be between minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. It cannot go beyond, like below minus pi by 2 or above plus pi by 2. It will always be between minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, right? Okay, why? Because your resistance is always positive. This is your R graph, this is your X graph, right? So if X is positive, it is in the plus pi by 2 range. If X is negative, it is in the minus pi by 2 range. But R can never go negative. So I will always either lie in the first quadrant or in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so this I have already taught. So this is not possible. This graph is not possible at all. This graph is never possible. So 4 is not possible at all, right? So 4 is here, 4 is here. These options are not possible at all, right? This I can anyways eliminate. So only I see P is with 3 and Q, right? Q is with, for both of them, Q is with 5, and which is correct. Q is with 5. If you see, observe here, the peak value is somewhat 5 is here, right? So somewhat higher than 5. Peak value is somewhat higher than 5, and my voltage waveform will start from here. So I see there is some lag, but it is lower than pi by 2. Pi by 2 is here, right? So this lag is lower than pi by 2. So this 5 will be correct. Okay, now 5 is correct. Now what about the R1? Okay, R. So Q will be with 5. What about R? So R, if I see R is a RLC circuit, right? So what is the reactance? Capacitive reactance. So capacitive reactance, if I see it is 1 by omega C, so this will be 1 by omega. Omega is 400 into C. C is 50 micro. Okay, so this will be 10 cube divided by 20, so 50 ohms. XC is 50 ohms. What about XL? XL is omega into L, so that is 400 into 25, right? So like basically it will be 1/4 because here L was 100 millihenry, so it will be 1/4. Basically this will be, previously it was 40 ohms, this will be 10 ohms. So overall my X reactance is XC minus XL or XL minus XC, XL minus XC. So it comes out to be minus 40 this time. Magnitude of impedance is same, 50 only. So magnitude is same, but it is overall reactive. So now it will lead. Now the current will lead the voltage. So only I see only here only it is leading, right? Only this option is present, that is leading. So option 2 will be like R equal to 2 will be correct here. Now I have to verify again for the last one. Okay, I should not have done this one first. I should have done S, right? Only S is differentiating these two. Okay, that's my fault. I should not have analyzed this only. I should have analyzed directly S. Okay, so but we are solving the whole question. So R is 2. Okay, what about S, right? For S I see the inductance has increased 5 times. So now it will overall be like 5 times the previous one. So if I make it 5 times, right, this will be 50. So it is like resonance condition. The reactance, the capacitive reactance and the inductive reactance are same. So it is resonance. Basically there will not be any phase difference. So either it can be this graph or this graph. But what is the, like basically reactance will cancel out, but what is the resistance? It is 60 ohms. So what will be the peak value? Peak value will be the maximum voltage divided by the resistance, that is 5 amperes. So I see this is 5 amperes here, but here, right, it is higher, it is 10 amperes. No, peak value will not be 10 amperes, it will be 5 amperes. So S will go to 1. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so now let's move on to the final and last one. Last question is again pretty good question. So don't worry, even if you don't remember anything in EMFT, right? One thing you remember, what is the induced voltage? Induced voltage is minus d phi dt, right? D phi dt. This you remember, right? Only this much is required. That's it. Only this much is required. Okay. So they're telling me that I have a conducting loop here. Okay, square loop initially lies in the xz plane, basically in this plane, right here, with its lower edge hinged at x equal to 0. So it is hinged. Basically it is like something like this, right? It is hinged here. It is glued or something. Okay. So with only in the region y greater than or equal to 0, in this region, basically above the xy plane, there is a time dependent magnetic field pointing in the z direction. So I have a magnetic field pointing in this z direction as shown here, okay, in the z direction, but only above the xy plane, not below it. So y greater than 0 basically means, okay, sorry, y greater than 0 basically means only along the right hand side, only this region, right? It is not here, it is not present here, it is only present over here. Okay, it is only present in the right hand side, it is not present over here, because this is the region for y greater than 0. So yeah, b of t will be this value, okay, b naught cos omega t k cap, or b of this. The magnetic field is 0 everywhere else, so only in this region the magnetic field is there for y greater than 0. Magnetic field is 0 here. Okay, so at time t equal to 0, the loop starts rotating with a constant angular speed omega. Okay, this loop is rotating at a constant angular speed omega, okay, about the positive x-axis. So it is rotating about the positive x-axis in clockwise direction, basically in this direction, okay, as shown in the figure as well. Ignoring the self-inductance of the loop and gravity, which of the following plots represent the induced EMF? So induced EMF will be this, minus d phi by dt. Basically it tells me that if there is a difference in the flux linkage of the coil, then there must be a induced EMF. Is there any change of flux linkage? Yes. First of all, the flux density itself is a time dependent parameter, so there will be change. Another thing is the area, right? The area that it cuts. Basically what is the area vector? Area vector is this, right? Perpendicular to the surface, right? This is the a cap area vector. So I see that what is the area that is perpendicular to the flux, that only is responsible for flux cutting, right? Because if I show you, right, this is my axis, okay, y, x, z, and this is my loop. So I see this will have two areas. One projected area will be on the xz plane, another projected area will be on the xy plane. So my magnetic field direction is this. So these flux lines will only cut this xy plane area, right? It will not cut the xz plane area. It is never cutting the xz plane. And we know that voltage is only induced when flux cuts the loop. So basically, if I assume this to be theta, okay, then what will be the area about the xy plane? So area about the xy plane, that is the perpendicular area basically that I am interested in, perpendicular to the field lines always, that is a into sine theta, right? A into sine theta, because this component will be a cos theta, this component will be a into sine theta, and this area is constant, right? This is simply whatever the length and breadth will be, that will be length into breadth. Okay, this is constant value. Now this theta, remember what is theta? Basically what I know, what is theta? Theta is the angular rotation, right? It is basically angular speed into time, because what is unit of omega? Omega is radian per second, right? Omega is radian per second, nowhere they are mentioned, but it is radian per second. Theta means how much radians it has moved at time t, right? That is what theta is a function of time actually. So theta is omega into t, how much radians has it moved. So this is theta basically. So this will be a sine omega t. So perpendicular area itself is changing. Now I have to find out how much flux is getting linked. I know this basic thing, that flux linkage is equals to flux density into area, right? Both are function of time this time. Very interesting. Both are function of time. So this is basically b naught cos of omega t into a sine of omega t, right? So basically if I convert this will be, if I take 2 common and 2 divide, if I divide by 2, this will be 2 b naught a into sine of 2 omega t, okay, 2 b naught a into sine of 2 omega t, okay. So this is my flux basically, this is my flux. So now what I can say is okay, what I can say, what I can comment is, what is the, basically I have to find out the induced voltage. What will be the induced voltage? Induced voltage will be minus d phi by dt. So this will be minus of b naught a into 2 omega into cos of 2 omega t. So this comes out to be minus of b naught a omega. This omega is constant, b naught a, all these are constant values. So it is like a cos of 2 omega t. So it is a cos function only, but this time the period has changed. Period is pi, okay, period is pi now. So, and one more thing you should remember, you must remember one more thing, that whenever your omega t, because the magnetic field only exists around y greater than 0. So if omega t is 0 here, it will rotate a whole pi. After this pi, there is no field. So omega t between 0 to pi, this is the expression, this is the induced voltage. If omega t is between 2 pi to pi, because there is no magnetic field itself, so there will not be any flux change, so the induced voltage also will be 0. So I observe that between, basically they are observing with respect to time, so what I will do is I will divide by time on both sides. So I will divide by omega on both sides. So this will be t is equals to pi by omega, and this will be 0 by omega, 0 only. So this will be t pi by omega, this will be 2 pi by omega. So between pi by omega to 2 pi by omega, the induced voltage should be 0. I see pi by omega to 2 pi by omega, induced voltage is 0. Here also it is 0. Okay. And will I follow this graph or this graph? Which graph will I follow? So it will not be a sine function, right? I see it is a cos function. It is a cos function. So these ones anyways are eliminated. It is telling me it is sine function. No, it is a cos function, negative of cos. So at omega t equal to 0, it will be minus of 1, not plus of 1, because it is negative of cos, because here I have a negative sign, right? So it will be minus of 1 and it is a cos function. So option A is only the correct answer. So okay, one last question we have. This is the dipole moment question. So for dipole moment, right, basically what I can comment is that, okay, let me delete this. You just have to remember these things. Okay, this I have taught in my EMFT courses. Okay, these things you have to remember. So if I have a dipole moment here, right, I have two dipoles. If I have a dipole moment here, the axial electric field, what does mean? If I have a point x here, that is axial to the dipole moment. Axial meaning in the same axis. If dipole moment is in this axis, if I am lying in this x position, that is it is in the same axis, then the electric field will be along the dipole moment, right? Because p vector, it is a vector, right? So it is directly proportional to p. So force will be along the dipole moment. And if I have a point that is perpendicular, so this is perpendicular axis to the dipole moment, right? This is perpendicular axis to a dipole moment, then the force will be in the negative direction. So if the dipole moment is in this direction, force will be in the downward direction. These two things you have to remember. This I have derived in my course in the MFT. YouTube it's present. Okay. So these two things we will do. So I observe this point x is in the perpendicular direction, perpendicular axis to this dipole and second dipole. So basically we have two dipoles here and they're asking me what will be the electric field. That is what they're asking. Okay, I'm not reading the question. So here, right, both are perpendicular. If both are perpendicular, I have to go with the second case. So that means due to the left hand side, the force will be in the bottom. Due to the right hand side also, the force will be in the bottom. So overall, the force is along the minus of j cap direction. So which has only minus of j cap direction. Only option 2 has the minus of j cap direction. So from this, I can clearly say for P it will be option 2. For Q, again it is in the perpendicular direction, but this time the dipole moment direction has changed. So this will, for the left hand side it will be in the bottom, for the right hand side it will be in the top, right? Because it will be opposite to the dipole moment. So both will be equal in magnitude because it is equidistant. So it will cancel out. So there will not be any electric field. So that's why Q will be 1. What about here? Here if I see that this one is directly along the dipole moment, along the axial axis. So the force due to the right hand side dipole will be along the I cap direction, and for the left hand side it will be again in the opposite because it is perpendicular. So the force or the electric field will be minus j cap and plus I cap, minus j cap and plus I cap. So I see I have this one and this one. Which one shall I choose? Which one shall I choose? That is what I am confused to, right? Which one will I choose? Now let me keep it hold. I don't know which one should I choose. Let me go to the next one, because next one I see that both of them now are in the same axial direction. For in the left hand side dipole, it will be along this direction. For the right hand side as well, it will be along the right hand side direction, right? So let's say if this provides x electric field, this also will provide x electric field along the same direction because both are in the axial axis, right? So both overall I will get 2x electric field, right? 2x electric field. So I see now what direction, what is the direction? Along the I cap. So which of the following options is only along the I cap? Only this one. So this is for sure that S will match with 5. That's definitely true. So what will be the electric field basically? Electric field will be, so this 2x cap will be P by 2 pi epsilon r cube. Basically 2x cap is P by epsilon pi epsilon naught r cube. So if I divide by 2, so it will be P by 2 pi epsilon naught r cube. Okay, I cap. So this basically is my x cap, right? This is basically what is x? X is the electric field due to one of the dipole along the axial direction. So now can you tell me what will be the electric field due to one of the dipole? So it is simply x, right? So x is this rho P upon 2 pi epsilon naught. So along I cap, I should get a component P upon 2 pi epsilon naught, right? Because only one dipole I have, so it should be P upon 2 pi epsilon naught. So this is P upon, so here, right, it is along the, again this is anyways wrong because this is in the negative x direction, which is okay, it is anyways gone, right? It is in the negative x direction, anyways gone. This one is correct only. Here if I see that this is P upon 2 pi epsilon naught r cube, so this is along the positive axis and the magnitude is P upon 2 pi epsilon naught r cube, that is x, that is the electric field due to one dipole along the axial direction. Okay, and obviously this is there, the electric field along the perpendicular direction, you see there is a difference of factor of 2. Okay, so this I have derived, I'm not deriving it. So without knowing the formula, just understanding the direction also you can solve. That is the important point, right? Like what I want to take away from this is understanding small things. It's okay if you don't remember the formula. Without formula also somehow you can escape the difficult questions. So R will be 4. So basically the answer will be P will be 2, Q will be 1, R will be 4, and S will be 5. Okay, so these are all the answers that we were able to find out in the JEE advanced paper. So actually it was a very good paper. So of course I solved by myself first, then I came to here. Like I'm not telling you that I'm solving live or anything, no, nothing like that. So if you guys did enjoyed this concept, this video, it was a kind of a different kind of video in like gate field basically, because it will be kind of refreshing, because most of you guys will see simple gate questions only. So if you did enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to share and subscribe to our channel. I will see you in the next lecture. Until then, happy learning.